Salutations, daydreaming stargazers and crewside members. If you clicked on this video, that means, baby, you found my spaceship. I am Josephine, your favorite celestial auntie, quiet as is kept. In honor of the beautiful women of color who've come before us, humbly I open my vessel. Spaceship protocol requires that you kick your shoes off at the threshold, drop any carry-on luggage with baggage claim, like and comment below how TT is out here whipping this ship. I'm so excited that you're here. See you inside.
Hello? Hi, yes. Oh my gosh, you don't know how long I've been trying to get somebody on the horn. Y'all are so difficult to get in contact with. My name is Josephine, and I purchased a ship from you guys a while back. Funny thing, it just kind of is not working like it's supposed to. So, I was trying to call the IT department directly, and for some reason I'm getting like a dial tone. So if I call customer service, you could like either help me out or transfer me to them. Yeah. No, cool, yeah, pull me up. Okay, the serial number is 381 330 8004. Yeah, that's me. The name that I have registered is the Starship Josephine. Yeah. Sure, I'll hold. I'm sorry, no. So there is no IT department anymore. That is crazy. Right. Oh, and y'all are about to actually shut down. What do I do about my ship? How do I fly it? With it, how do I fix it? Do what now? Call who? Tyrone. Oh. Okay. So his name just happened to be Tyrone. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, if you can go ahead and refer all your resources to me, I guess this is our last time talking then, huh? That's cool. I got it. I can do this. Cool. That's all I can do? Literally. Okay. Well, thank you for taking my call. I'm glad I called you when I did. I guess I'm about to learn how to fly a ship. All right now. You have a good one. Bye. Okay, I got this. It could be worse. I could get fired on my off day. Anyway, let's get to it, I guess. Hello guys, come on in. I know you might be a little confused. You have now entered the entertainment deck, and we are in one of TT's griot grids. What is that? It's like a 3D room. You feel me? Now, I know you're a little confused about what's going on. All right, but I'm gonna just make it a quick one, okay? Because after the day I've had, we just gonna move it along. TT's trying to get her ship together and her roots together, okay? Originally, over the past couple of weeks, I have been taking down the hair that was already locking, okay? And because I realized what I need to do to fix it, to keep it from pulling and doing all that extra, look. And now we're taking down what I twisted so that we can lock it again. Now, some of my homegirls, they sick of me. And if you are one of them, hey friend, I'm sick of me too. But anyway, so for today's flight, what we're gonna do, y'all gonna come kick it with me in my griot room, which once again is a 3D room. And I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna come kick it in my 3D room. while I take down my hair. And in the spirit of all things hair and all things repair, baby, Titi got a couple hair time stories for you. I figured it wouldn't be me if I didn't start with prom. Okay, y'all. It's a good time to sit down, kick your feet up. I got some vittles for you, some to sip on, some to nip on. And if you have any questions, please drop in the comment section below. Also, this is the umpteenth time that I have did something to my hair. At this point, y'all, I swear, I'm the intro of all burgers. If you know, you know. Because baby, this is the retwist. Okay? Anyway, so I already started taking down the hair. What we're gonna do, just to kind of let you know ahead of time, is we're gonna take down these twists that I already unlocked. And once I get them all down, we're gonna wash it and we're gonna resection it, kind of faux grid-like, because we're gonna do something on the lines of a micro twist. Oh, don't ask me no more questions on that. I don't know what I'm doing at this point, but I do want them a little smaller. And we're just gonna go from there, okay? Cool with you? Cool with you? Great. So, for the story time, y'all, we are going to kick it here and talk about basically one of the many times I've gone natural, right? And it happened to be around prom time, right? And TG was out here looking like Lil Boosie, right? And it's okay. It's really gonna be okay. Anyway, let's start with a little backstory. Now, if you are a woman of color who grew up in the 90s, and I say it like that because with colorism and texturism and the big R, there is a lot of, how do I put this, intersectionality when it comes to the kind of BS we got to deal with when it comes to our hair, our skin, our size, and who we choose to love. Now, I'm not going to get political, but if you know, you know. You feel me? Anyway, so if you were like me, you grew up in the 90s with minimum options for your hair, right? A lot of us now, they have a lot more variety for all the different textures of hair and your porosity, you feel me, how dense it is, etc. These are also terminology that we have now. But back in the day, they had one or two descriptions for you. You either had good hair or nappy hair, right? And anything that wasn't silky, wet, curly ringlets that just, it was nappy in some form or fashion, right? And I hate that about our culture and I hate that about our history, but it comes with the territory. And in order for you to understand yourself, you have to understand your what, y'all? Your history, okay? So, like I said, and mind you, it's not like, you know what I'm saying? Please don't mistake what I'm saying when it comes to my hair. You feel me? I'm not saying anything negative about my hair or anybody's hair, because that's just not how I rock. But especially in the 90s, especially in the early 2000s, that was how we talked about ourselves and how we talked to each other, right? So growing up, once I hit about 5, 6 and the hair was just growing, my texture started to come in and it became overwhelming for my mom. Slap that creamy on it.
Look, y'all, it's me you talking to. I would never hurt you.
You feel me? Put that relaxer on it and started that whole process. Drop in the comment section below for all of you who had to experience the natural hair to relaxer pipeline to whatever you like to do right now with your hair. Drop in the comment section your experiences. I think it's very important for us to have those talks because it is what it is, right? So I started getting relaxers, let's say around 5-ish, right? So from about 5-ish to 10, 11, I was rocking with the relaxer heavy. It was messing with my scalp real bad. And I was just like, look, mommy, I can't do this. So around the time that I went to middle school, if you remember this episode or this flight that we had, I think it was called like A Time for First or whatever. This is around the time where I was starting to figure out my own identity, right? It's a great flight. I do advise for you to go check it out, right? One disclaimer, however, that I have for all my previous flights, TT is a little long-winded, right? So we're gonna figure out this format to get to the point quicker. So if you are watching previous flights, a little long-winded, just tap it. 30 seconds up. Give me some time to let me cook, right? And any support that you have for your TT, I am so grateful for it. In the past, I'm kind of like nonchalant about it. Like, you ain't got to be here if you don't want to. Shaman up, dap-a-doo. But I want you to be here with me. You feel me? I want you to enjoy time with me. I want you to come kick it with your TT. You know what I'm saying? Pick up that phone. Call me. Come over. Take your shoes off at the door and come kick it with your TT. You feel me? I do want you guys to know that I enjoy the time that we spend. I got a lot going on in my personal life, and we'll get there with future episodes, but we gotta do one thing at a time. And right now we're trying to get this hair together and this shit together, right? But I digress. So when it came to hair, it's always been a journey. It's been a journey, right? So around that episode, I decided to do my first big chop, right? Now, mind you, I'm in the 7th grade. This is early 2000s. This is before we had a lot of hair care products for a lot of different hair types. They had Eco Styling Gel. They had Blue Magic. They had pink lotion. They had... you feel me? So drop in the comment section below around the early 2000s, end of the 90s, like 98, 99, and then the early 2000s. If you remember what kind of hair care products that you used back then, drop in the comment section below. Just for me, you feel me? These are what we had. And no tea, no shade for the time we got through it, but it was very limited, especially if you decide to go natural. You feel me? And for those who did the frying, the dyeing, and the laying to the side, you know, that Marcellus was...
What does Marcellus Wallace look like?
You feel me? And the hot combs, like, that was a thing too. I'm getting sidetracked. But anyway, drop in the comment section below some of your hair experiences, because I think it's very important for younger generations, those who are growing up nowish, to kind of know what the vibe was back then. You feel me? Because it's different. Our perspective's different. And with anybody who is your senior, your elder, just ask them real quick, how y'all used to do your hair back then? What kind of hair care products did y'all use? What did y'all do? Like, what kind of makeup did you wear? What kind of deodorants did you wear? What kind of sanitation pads did y'all use? Did you have any? Because that will provide you like just a little bit of perspective of how things used to be. Because I promise you, by the time that you get a little older, if you don't have kids, or by the time your kids get here, the stuff that you used to do, the life that you used to live doesn't exist anymore. You feel me? For example, telephones, wall phones with the cord. You feel me? Cell phones with the black and white analog screens. They don't have those anymore. So they literally do not know what you're talking about when you mention a beeper, a pager, you feel me, a CD player, DVD player, a VCR. Like, what is that? You know, they have streaming services now, just to put it in perspective. But anyway, so like I said, back in the day, around 7th grade, I made my first big chop, and then we ended up moving to the burbs, y'all. And by the time we moved to the burbs, I had big hair in a ponytail, pigtails and a ponytail, and I felt like an outcast, like nobody's business. Do you hear me? So I found myself assimilating by the 9th grade. And just so that you can see how important representation is, right? When I lived in predominantly Black and brown communities, I went natural. I cut the perm off. I saw people who look like me. The next year when we moved to the burbs, I ended up slapping a perm. I'm sorry, perm is street for relaxer. I know some of you are like, a perm is not, okay? If you want to me, you know what I mean, but a relaxer. By the time that I moved to the burbs, slapped one on. Why? Because I just felt like I had to assimilate. I felt like an outcast. I felt dirty. I felt icky. And I felt I would be more attractive if my hair was straight. And that's what I did. Only to spin the block a couple years later and cut it off again. Never put another relaxer on, but we'll get there, right? Anyway, this is just like perspective and timeline, right? So yeah, boom. I moved to the burbs. I relaxed my hair. Now it's long, it's straight, it's manageable. The little guys who I have my little eyeballs on, they're starting to check for me now. Why? Because I look like I look and my hair's long. Why? Because that's what people think's attractive, right? When I was and also I'm chubby. So I need something that's gonna make me look more attractive to the kids who grew up in the burbs, who see as right and as a criminal. Call a spade, clock that T if you want to. This is the era before a lot of us reached our social awakening, our awareness. And this is also the early 2000s. And once again, I can't reiterate this enough. Hair care was in its infancy as far as inclusivity. Moving on, all right? Moving on. If y'all want a more introspective piece or a think piece on texturism or colorism.
Now, please understand, I am completely aware of my privilege as a lighter skinned Black woman with a softer hair texture. It's important for Black women to be able to have this conversation, identify where they fall in the spectrum, and begin to dismantle these stigmas that affect us all. I love my Black women. I love my women of color because we have so many struggles day to day that we have to overcome.
Topic for another day. Drop in the comment section below if you would like to have more of a think piece on some of these topics that we're talking about today. I don't want to dive too deep. I just want to kind of keep us on track, or at least me on track, because like I said, I'm a little long-winded. So anyway, boom. Now I'm in the suburbs, right? I done moved here against my will. Found my tribe, the Blurreds. And as more of us are moving to the burbs, now mind you, this is around the Katrina era, giving you a little bit of context, a little bit of history. Due to the migration of a lot of Louisiana natives from Louisiana to the neighboring bordering towns and cities, i.e. Texas, Houston, Dallas, Austin, I started to see more people that look like me who were entering into the burbs. I was so excited to hear that. You feel me? Because there's nothing like having representation. God, is nothing like it, because if you don't have representation, I promise you, you be out here sad. You be out here thinking that you ugly, dusty, and crusty, when in reality, you just don't look like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to see more of yourself around you just to validate some of those insecurities you might have. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I digress. So once the Katrina migration happened and people settled into the burbs, I started seeing more of my people. You feel me? So I'm starting to see more hairstyles, more textures, and more variety in the expression that I see amongst our people, right? You feel me? So, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but there's this one chick, we're going to call her Farrah Fawcett for her flips, y'all. Baby girl's hair was icy. Baby girl stayed with that on. She stayed with it on, and her hair was always laid. Her and her sister stayed looking nice. You feel me? And in particular, Farrah, she always was rocking either vivid colors or, before I knew the terminology, 27-piece bust downs. You feel me? So, baby, them flips was crispy. Baby, them swoops was icy. Baby, that color was laid, fried, and dyed to the side. And as I was evolving with what I liked for my hair, I was like, I want that. So, you know, when I moved to the burbs, I relaxed it, and now it's long. But as the years keep growing, I am chipping further and further up. Y'all, I'm sitting here doing this hand motion. I am not taking this hair down. We gotta focus, girl, focus. So, you know, I am just becoming more and more enamored with short hair because baby girl was putting it on. Let me call a spade a spade. Farrah, you know who you are, right? And if you don't, you that girl. But anyway. So by the time that I hit my junior year, I didn't went from hair being down here to hair being about right here on the nape. I had a nice bob. But also I had stopped relaxing it because my scalp just couldn't take it, y'all. My scalp could not take that type of application. Let's call a spade a spade. It just couldn't do it. So over time, I had made the decision that I wasn't going to get another relaxer, and I was just going to let it grow out and just keep it straight. I was just going to keep it flat iron, because this is the era of cheap products. Them cheap flat irons, that cheap heat protector, them oils and serums and stuff. This is when cheese were busting. If you know, you know. Drop in the comment section below if you had it cheap. Because I know I did the black one with the red. Yeah, that was me. I had that. Anyway, so, you know, I'm frying it down. Well, one day, Farrah came with a new hairstyle. Okay? Farrah had came to school with a new hairstyle. And like I said, this is before I knew what a 27-piece was. Baby, her hair was beautiful. And in my mind, I was like, that's what I want. I'm already going natural. I already got new growth out the wazoo. This will be a great transition. So what I did, let's say Wednesday, she came with her new hairstyle. I was checking it out. So Wednesday night, I started clipping. I was like, okay, chill out, Josephine. Don't do too much. Thursday, clipped a little bit more. And I'm like, okay, Josephine, chill out. Friday night, I was like, a little bit more. Okay, chill out. By Sunday, I had completely cut off the whole back of all the relaxer on the back of my hair. And I was trying to give myself like a long pixie. Basically, I was trying to shape it up to where it was short on the sides and long on the top. Now, you should know about your TT is just because I have the confidence does not mean I know how to execute it. Okay. I did not know what I was doing. So by Monday morning, wee hours, okay, I had went from like a bob to a mini afro. And I was perplexed because by like 2 a.m, I had cut so much hair off. It was uneven on this side. It was patchy on that side. And I was like, I can't save this. I'm going to have to cut it all off. I took my shears and I just started clipping all of the straight hair off. And just put my little headscarf on and went to bed for the couple hours until it was time to go to school. Y'all, that next day, I came to school, and when I tell you, I was not feeling it, y'all. I was not feeling it because it's like, this is the shortest I've ever had my hair. When I left Friday, I had a cute bob with the long bang, and it was blowing in the AC. Today, I came in here looking like Lil Webby. And I used Little Webby because literally that's what people was saying. Y'all, I walked up into school, so mind you, I tried to act like nothing happened. So the next day, I wake up, I take my little headscarf off. I just look in the mirror, y'all. I'm like, it's gone. It's not, it didn't grow back. You know what I'm saying? It's uneven because I didn't like make it even. I just cut everything off. So my hair was uneven. Okay, I still got to go to school. So I tried to like just kind of just put some on there and see what kind of texture I got. So it was giving microphone, that foam on the outside of a microphone. That's what it was giving. I couldn't do nothing about it. I get on the bus. And everybody's kind of looking at me strange, but no one's saying anything. And that's because I find out that everybody think I got like a headscarf on still. Everybody thought I was still wearing like a do-rag. So I walk into the school. I go into the cafeteria because that's basically where everybody meets up. And everyone looking at me like, girl, why didn't you take your headscarf off before you came up in here? Why you got that do-rag on? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, girl, no, it's my hair. Y'all, can you imagine a big chop in an era before there was ever a big chop like that? So high key in my high school, I had officially been the first girly to go natural with a big chop. Dead ass. I'm not making that up, y'all. There was those who had natural hair, you know what I'm saying, their hair in their natural state. So they already had their hair like whatever length it was just what it was. Or you had the girlies who had the relaxers. They had their hair braided. They had their hair, you know, the sew-ins, the bust-downs, the wigs. I don't know if we was wearing wigs like that, but you know, like the drawstring ponytails, like you already had that type of vibe going on, right? Ain't nobody coming to school intentionally cutting they hair off. That just wasn't it, y'all. So at Burbs High, I was the first in my school to do a big chop. Please believe me. Please believe me. All right, I can't make it up, and it was all accidental. So, you know, everybody was adjusting to it like, oh my gosh, like what happened? I thought you had a do-rag on this whole time, like laughing and stuff. Some people were like, okay, it's cute, like it's different, you know, mixed reviews because it's a mixed emotional type of vibe.
Flashback.
Normal. And she was like, Josephine. I'm like, huh? Yeah. She's like, what happened to your hair? And I'm like, huh? She's like, what happened to your hair? And I'm like, huh? Oh, I just, you know, shaped it up a little bit last night because it was uneven. So, you know, now it's a little more even than it was. Y'all, tell me why my mom gave me this look like, I know you did not just cut all your hair off. I was like, Mommy, I'm sorry I had to do it. I was trying to shape it up. I was trying to style it, and it just didn't work. So, of course, my mom's like, all right, Josephine, I'm going to find you a barber to get your hair together, and then we just going to figure it out. Because my mom, too, in her lifetime, has done several big chops. You know, it as a natural girly, as a girl in general, there's a high probability that you will cut all your hair off at least one point in your life. But as a natural hair girly, especially in this day and age, it is not uncommon for you to go through that phase where you're transitioning or you just decide to cut it all off. Okay? And this is the first of many times that I've cut all my hair off. But anyway, I digress.
End of flashback.
So fast forward. I'm in school that day. I'm getting a lot of mixed reviews because people are a little confused as to why every time they see me, my hair is getting shorter and shorter. Now, I did have a little crush on my little school babe. When I say crush, it was Oh gosh, one of these days I'll tell you about it. But I got mixed reviews, but we made it shake. So fast forward, that weekend, my mom helped me shape it up when I got home so it didn't look crazy. And then she found me a barber to get me together. Now, this barber, for the sake, oh my eyeball, I'm sorry. Now, this barber, for the sake of this story time, we gonna name him Butter. We gonna name him Butter because that man was smooth. You hear me? Let his soul rest in peace. Not only was he a handsome fella, but he was a master barber. Do you hear me? This is before the time where they made it normalized, naturalized, LOL. This is before the time that they normalized like natural hairlines for girlies and like natural lineup for girlies. So when I went to Butter, let me tell you something. Butter, he had my hair perfectly symmetrical. Do you hear me? And I do have a couple examples. Do you see this? Do you see how he had me out here looking icy? Baby, Butter, my barber Butter, he had me put together, especially for the time. I just enjoyed it, right? So fast forward. So subsequently during this era of my life, I was super pro-black without even trying. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out what I like with my hair, trying to figure out what type of style I had. And y'all, the styles was crazy. I'm just giving you a quick little example, but not too much on your TT. Me and my friends, we wore layers to school. So we didn't just wear a shirt, baby. We had shirts on. Oh, so bad. But anyway, I digress. Over the course of this time, I think I may have mentioned in the previous story time, but it's my senior year. And I'm doing a lot of fast forwarding because there's other story times that would make more sense. But there ended up being a girly who came to my school. She migrated. She was a part of the migration from New Orleans to the burbs. And her and I ended up favoring each other, child. I'm going to call her Beignet because she was just the sweetest little thing. You know what I'm saying? She was just the sweetest little thing, y'all. And her and I favored each other. And just a quick little story. When Beignet moved to the burbs, you know, she joined the step team. She joined newspaper. So I was hearing people be like, girl, I didn't know you joined the step team. I didn't know you joined da-da-da-da. And I'm like, what are you talking about, girl? I'm in art/debate. So I'm like, girl, I'm not on the step team. Most of the times I got 2 left feet. So what you talking about? And that's when I found out that Beignet was like my literal doppelganger at the school. To this day, Beignet is a beautiful soul. I'll definitely have to reach out to her, see how she's doing. But, you know, baby girl, and I, over the course of the next week, I just kept hearing about her and she kept hearing about me. So we ended up running into each other and it was just so sweet. She's a sweetie pie. So over the course of my senior year, we were just cool. I come kick it with her. My people met her people. I pull up where everybody in that area stayed. And she ultimately decided once it came time for prom, Beignet hits me up and she's like, hey, we get to do an expose and follow people around to get ready for prom. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you for real? That's dope. And Beignet was like, yeah, girl. And I'm gonna tell you for you getting ready for prom. And I'm like, dead ass. You serious? Now, of course, we didn't use dead ass back then, but basically that's the sentiment, right? And I'm like, are you serious? That's dope. So we made plans for her to follow me around for prom. Now, this is where it gets a little sticky, right? For prom, I can say my senior year, I was a little rebellious when it came to the status quo. One thing you realize, or you can begin to realize when you move to the suburbs, is the fatigue that you get from just existing in spaces that aren't technically made for you, right? So I found myself just feeling a little rebellious to the status quo. Hence me ultimately like cutting all my hair off and rocking an afro and getting my hair cut and faded by my barber. All these things was just leading up to me kind of owning my identity at that point. You know what I'm saying? Establishing what that looked like for me, right? In these spaces. Right? Right. So once Beignet told me that she was going to follow me around or tail me for prom, I was ecstatic and also kind of nervous because I know what that was going to look like. My experience was going to be super blinkety black, blackety blink, black, black. Okay?
I'm black, y'all, and I'm blackety black, and I'm black.
I found this dress, right, about a week or so before. It's a maxi dress, right? It's black, it's halter, and there's a stripe down the front that's like purple and brown and very neutral African-like tones, right? So it's like a strip that goes down the front. And I was going to wear gladiator sandals with it because especially around this time, it was all princess dresses and sequins and you know that style back in the day. Here's some examples, right? So I'm already going against the status quo being bald-headed. I ain't got no hair on my head. And to double down, I found a dress that's super Afrocentric. And I'm pairing it with gladiator sandals. And my preparation to get ready is going to be super black. Let's just call it spade a spade. It's super black. So Beignet came early that day. So fast forward to prom. I've already picked out my outfit. I'm a little nervous because even my homegirls, they all have on like these beautiful sequins dresses and all this color. And here I am out here. And not on purpose. It's just the vibe I'm on. It's what I'm feeling. And I'll put some here somewhere. You're going to see a picture of what I ended up wearing for prom. Right? The rundown is get picked up by the limousine, go take pictures, go get something to eat, and then go to prom and then get picked up afterwards, right? And baby girl Beignet was going to follow me around while I got ready. And that's exactly what we did. So she got dropped off by her mom. And you know how moms can get. It took about 30, 45 minutes of hellos, highs, laughing and joking for her mom to dip. She came with me to go get my hair done. My barber, Butter, he's on unk time. You know what I'm saying? So they're all talking about whatever they're talking about, and she's there with her camera recording and taking pictures. I get faded down. Now this is one thing that I wish I would have told Butter not to do, because after prom I told him to not fade me like he did, to keep my hairline natural. But what he did, hard line. My barber gave me, when I say my barber gave me the Boosie bust down 2000, he had hard lines, you feel me? So you couldn't say that my edge wasn't crispy. Then he tapered my sides, y'all. So he faded my hair on the sides, both sides, and then got me in the back too, y'all. So it was icy. He had me together, y'all. But in retrospect, I definitely wish I would have just had him do a one all the way over and just had, you know what I'm saying? But you live and you learn. So I'm freshly faded down. You feel me? So after I got my Boosie bust down, I went home, I took a shower, and then we headed to get my makeup done. Went to like JC Penney's, or you know, like the makeup counter, because I had an appointment to get my makeup done. So they do me right. They get my makeup really pretty. I felt so pretty, y'all. And then by the time that we came back, you know, I had to hurry up because we had just a little bit of time before I was supposed to go to the drop off to get on the limo, right? So I got my makeup done. I put on my dress. I got my sandals on. They're giving pictures and everything because I also decided to go by myself. I was gonna meet my homegirls up there anyway. And the whole time Beignet, she's excited because we really high-key chilling all day. We had a great time. So while I'm getting ready and everything, she's taking pictures, she's asking me questions for the interview part of the segment, and then everyone basically sends me off. Once we get to the drop off, boom boom bow, that's how it goes. Y'all, of course, I'm wearing a black dress. Everyone else is wearing floral colors and they look like princesses. And so when we get to the establishment to take pictures after we eat and everything, y'all, I'm sitting on the edge of the line of people. And when I tell you sore thumb, baby, please believe me. Girl, I had a good time, right? I was a little uncomfortable because I think I just felt a lot out of place, but I was confident in my ability to get through the day. Let's just say like that. Y'all, this is how I looked, and I felt good. I'm like, I'm representing for the girls. I'm representing for the girls. You feel me? Because who else you know that's gonna come up into this prom with the Boosie Bust Down 3000? No one, I tell you. So anyway, the night carries on like it does. I might do like a separate story time for the specifics, but we're just here for the hair, right? I had a blast. Me and my friends doing a lot of this. I ended up getting to dance with my crush, who I crumpled under the crippling reality of what we had and what we didn't. Anyway, but I had a great time. I got to hang out with my friends, and then boom, it was a success, right? All my friends came, they were beautiful, we all were just adorable, right? Boom. Week later, y'all, a freaking week later, Beignet comes up to me because one thing also about the suburbs, they have all kind of programs and they have all kind of resources. So we had a newspaper, a book, like an actual newspaper that would come out whenever they have their publications. So of course for the I'm sorry y'all, I got pimples out. I'm pretty sure y'all know this already, but so of course when the publication came out for prom, I'm in the hallway chopping it up, running my mouth, doing what I always do, and she is beelining straight to me, looking distraught as ever.
All right, I had to cut a lot out, y'all, because I definitely was rambling. But just to sum it up, it was me and another gal. Her get ready with me had multiple inserts, a whole bunch of just introspection on her day, all of that. When they did mine, it was half a page. And they took a very crude paraphrasing of everything that Beignet and I talked about. We really talked about the Black experience, you know what I'm saying? Our individualism, our hair, everything. And they use none of that, y'all. I'm going to show you in the end so you can get a full extent of how I felt, how Beignet felt. Baby, we was big sad. But it's okay, because one thing they couldn't take away from either of us was her pictures and how good I looked. Hello.
Kind of hurted me though.
One thing you realize when you grow up in spaces that aren't 100% built for you, you get early doses of like microaggressions, you get early doses of like experiences that kind of define how you're gonna have to handle people in real life. When I tell y'all that hurt my feelings, please know it did. Right? So, you know, she was a little deflated because here she is, a young girl of color, you know, a young Black girl who is trying to make space in this new environment when she's coming from New Orleans to here, the suburbs, And she's doing all these great things, and then just like that, they show you exactly where you stand in the whole grand scheme thing. So y'all, when I tell you, on one end I had a great time. This was like me first really diving into like what it means to be me and what I like for myself, and also marking the last time I put chemicals in my hair like that. You hear me? I just accepted it, and then in later years realized like this comes with the territory. You have to figure out how to navigate people's discomfort around you. I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is. And if you live in the States, you see what we have to deal with, you know, and that's not just for little black girls, but little brown girls too. You know, little girls who are not, you know, because there's always going to be something that you have to navigate around to assimilate. You feel me? But anyway, this is, y'all was running my mouth with my hands, and this is what we got so far. I'm keeping this one as it. I'm just going to interlock this one down because it's my nape and I don't feel like trying to rip that out. But I'm just going to interlock these two pieces down and then redo everything else. So like and comment below how TT's out here whipping this griot grid, you feel me? But not for real. Drop any of your experiences below. Thank you again for coming to kick it with your TT. I really hope that story went all over the place. But if it was, drop in the comment section below. And instead of Xing out of the video, just, you know, just give me just double tap that 30 seconds. Get through it with me. I really do appreciate all of you who come and kick it with your TT time and time again. I'll see you next flight. Or in this case, non-flight. But until later.
All right, guys, like I promised kept, here is said insert. Now, for privacy purposes and to respect my late great barber, I have blurred out like his face and my information and my government. However, I just want to take this time and read y'all out loud the insert they had the audacity to put engraved forever for my prom. Okay, here we go. And y'all can see it up on the screen as well. And I'm just going to give you Valley Girl, all right? Because that's really what they gave me. It is just getting ready and making sure everything is going right. If you would have asked me in 9th grade what my prom would have been like, it would have been overly fabulous. And now it's not even that serious. Who talks like that? I know I don't, but I digress. Y'all have a good one. Love you down. Bye.